Often developers are looking for ways to flog a dead horse, coming up with cheap ways to revitalize a game that's several years old. But in the case of Hitman Freelancer, IOI's ideas are actually good. Freelancer is the new roguelike mode now available with their World of Assasstination Trilogy, and it's a great addition to the many methods and modes of our favourite assassin, Agent 47. While Hitman has always had some roguelike qualities to it, encouraging players to replay the map to expand the story, Freelancer mode builds on previous gameplay elements of the escalations and elusive targets to create a challenge for even the most experienced Hitman player. You start by selecting a campaign from 8 options, each tackling different maps and rewarding different playstyles. For example, PsyOps missions favour silent assassin playstyles, where the big pharma route, well, you guessed it, favours poison. For those coming to Hitman for the first time, it's best to play through the stories first. Not only do they pack a punch, but success in Freelancer mode relies a lot on familiarity with the level design. I found myself selecting campaigns based on my preferred maps rather than playstyle. Maldives? Too easy. Colorado? Absolutely not. The challenge from there is to progress through 18 missions perfectly with 4 campaign showdowns. Easier said than done. If you fail a non-showdown territory, you'll return to the safe house nursing a couple of wounds, and the next mission will be in an alerted territory. These are not as challenging as you'd think. It means that the targets are alerted to your presence, but ranged or poison assassinations work well in these situations. At the end of each set of missions, you'll enter a showdown where you'll need to determine the target from several potential suspects using the clues from Diana Burnwood. Killing the wrong suspect is not a deal breaker here, as they often carry burner phones, which can be used to arrange meetings with the other suspects. However, if you take down the wrong target and are detected, the actual target will run for the exit. Quick-thinking assassins can use this to their advantage. There were a couple of times where I got to them before they left, although expect heavy fire from their entourage. And look, if you fail the campaign showdown, you're back to the start of the drawing board. That's how brutal this roguelike mode is. Gone too are the days of starting a level with your favorite gear, instead getting randomized gear through a crate in your safe house and within levels. In this, I realized how much I relied on the humble coin and lockpick combination to complete levels, and have been challenged here into using some new kit, some of which, like the remote taser and emetic grenades, are very useful. Succeeding at your missions advances your mastery level, opening up new features in his forest safe house. It's about as cozy as Agent 47 gets, minimalist furniture and a concrete underground bunker. But I can't help having a certain fondness for this little blue-eyed assassin, wanting to give him a nice warm house after his tough childhood. It's also clever how the house is used to improve your opportunities. Opening up the kitchen gives you access to a banana and a red wine bottle to take into the levels. These are vital distractions which aren't as easy to access when your gear is limited in the safe house. I never knew how useful bananas were until Hitman Freelancer. The worst thing about Freelancer mode is that it is a sobering wake-up call to my Hitman skills. Despite the many hours invested in exploring every nook and cranny of each map, while replaying missions until my assassination skills reached level 239, I had a weak spot: the save file. In my classic playthroughs, I'd sit there smugly preparing for the perfect silent assassin suit-only combo as no one looks sideways at my exit. But in Freelancer mode, you can't rely on your carefully timed save file management. There are no saves, only failure. In Freelancer mode, I'm running for my life from security because I've accidentally pulled a knife out in a public place. I've organized the perfect quiet spot to lure a potential syndicate boss for a rendezvous, when 8 people show up in succession, busting my cover as I run out of space in the hidden basket. I make one slight mistake in my timing on the last mission and get the epic campaign failed message. As they say, you better get good. Hitman Freelancer is messy. I've had to give up on my precise playstyle to get through the levels, relying more on the classic overflow the sink neck snapper method or the throw a pointy object at their head from behind a shrub and run away style. And where I never used guns in my previous playthroughs, I've started utilizing them for ranged kills, often the best option when you're close to an exit. It's challenging the very methods I've relied on for so long, making the game a fresh challenge. I had a great time going back to the world of Agent 47 in Hitman Freelancer. For those experienced in the ways of the assassin, Freelancer is the perfect challenge to escalate your skills. I'm Kat Clare, a Melbourne-based writer and game reviewer. If you want more video game reviews, please do hit that subscribe button, and thanks so much for watching.